make my way. The ambulance is making its way through the crowd, okay? When you're at a stadium, you have to make your way to go to the bathroom. Mono grabbed the ledge and he made his way through a narrow passage in between the shelves, right, of the bookcase. Made his way, that means you pass, right? Make way for the boss. Is it true? I don't know.
Make way, please! Make way for Sherlock Holmes!
Yeah, make way for Sherlock Holmes. So that's a more polite, more respectful way to say, get away from here, let me through. Plunge. To plunge here, Mono plunged from the ventilation shaft. Plunge is when you fall or when you dive without a lot of control, right? So he's plunging from the waterfall. Mono plunged and fell. In English we say he fell or he landed awkwardly on the wooden planks. Plunge. Plunge is the sudden movement down. You can also say nosedive. When the airplane or the helicopter, they go down because of some kind of accident, they nosedive or they plunge, okay? If you notice at the beginning, did I say that? I think I did. At the beginning, on the first slide, I said, let's plunge into the topic. I thought of everything. So one day a year, these humans try to be me for 1 minute. Why is the polar bear saying that? Because there is such a thing as polar plunges. I think in Canada and United States, there are cities where they practice polar plunges. They plunge into cold water. In some countries, they do that basically every day, yes. Okay, and we call this a plunger because you plunge it into the toilet. If you use the box like me, we wouldn't have to do this. Poor cat, poor cat. He has to pick up the slack of his owner.
And Mako plunges into the pool. We plunged into a massive wormhole. Plunge and scrub. And plunge and scrub.
Okay, so these two are easy to understand. Plunge into the pool, plunge into the wormhole. And why is this plunging? Well, because it's the same idea. You put something very fast into something else. So he plunged, what is it? I don't know, some kind of cloth item into the soapy water, into the soap. And then this is how you wash, by hand, okay? You plunge the cloth item, then you scrub it, and then you rinse it, like with water, right? You rinse it, okay? Plunge, plunge and scrub, plunge and scrub, okay? Plunge is to dive rapidly, to dive very fast without much control. And here we said he plunged and he fell awkwardly, from the word awkward. If you like watching movies or TV series, or basically anything in English, you're going to hear somebody say awkward. So awkward means like embarrassing or uncomfortable. Awkward. But in this case, you don't say he fell embarrassingly. Well, that means without control, and it looks really bad, okay? Mono fell awkwardly.
Awkward. You know what? No, not really. It's not awkward. At least not until you said awkward. Now it's awkward because of what you said.
Anyway.
Yeah, there's always a guy like that. Awkward. Awkwardly. That's a word difficult to pronounce. Awkward. Many letters, but awkward.
Awkwardly.
Okay, protruding. Remember the booby traps? You can spot them, you can notice them by the protruding wooden planks. They look like a giant bottom, okay? To protrude means that it's not even, it's uneven, okay? So these planks are even, but these two, they are uneven. You can see them. They're not on the same level. You can also say protruding teeth. These are called buck teeth, but they are protruding. They're not aligned. They're not even with the other teeth, right? Here in this part, Mono was, before he grabbed the ledge, the teacher intended means wanted to sink her teeth into Mono. So in this case, sinking my or someone's teeth into somebody or something, it has a literal meaning, but you can also use it like metaphorically, okay, figuratively. Here is literal. Finally, some art I can sink my teeth into. That's because it's all bacon. Yeah, I like that art too. Now, that's a meme that I can sink my teeth into. That's definitely not literal. You don't have to bite or take bites of the memes. That means you like it and you're going to work on it, you support it, you're all about it 100%. If you like some kind of subject, you say, that's a subject I can sink my teeth into. okay? If you like the idea, that means you can sink your teeth into that.
Now that's a story I can sink my teeth into.
This is funny because it's figuratively, he likes the story, but also he has protruding teeth, so he can sink his teeth literally into the book. Scribble some gibberish, okay? Scribble means to draw lines, so it's not a finished drawing, you just scribble. The boy here, he's scribbling, and well, you decide, because if you think all of this makes sense, then he's just scribbling some things, but if it makes no sense, you can call it gibberish. Gibberish means nonsense, it makes no sense, okay? It's impossible to understand. Actually, you can notice some eyes, so some of these scribbles, they do make sense. Some of them is pure gibberish, okay? Gibberish means nonsense. Every time you watch a movie with subtitles or a cartoon or whatever, and nobody can understand what the person is saying, the subtitles are going to say gibberish. The person is babbling or saying gibberish. So like half of the subtitles for Homer are going to say that, gibberish. So he's like an he's an infiltrator. Ilfin. Let's see an example of scribbling.
What's all this?
Buddy, it doesn't seem like the Griffins are leaving anytime too soon. Oh, hey, Peter.
Oops.
Hey, Joe, what are all these pictures?
Oh, nothing. They're just some stupid scribbles I've been working on for a children's book.
Well, I don't think that's stupid. I think that's awesome.
Okay, there are some stupid scribbles. Simple scribbles, not a big deal. No, these are not scribbles, these are finished drawings. He's being modest. These are not scribbles. Scribbles are just the first lines that you draw. We can say lines or strokes, okay? Or scribbles, but these are definitely very good drawings. Finished drawings, not scribbles. He's being too modest.
No, look at this. Coordinates, clues. It's all right here.
Yeah, it looks like gibberish to me.
That's because it's been written in a dialect that no longer exists.
Oh, it's useless.
No, just difficult. I spent my whole life studying dead languages. It's not gibberish to me.
Ah, it's probably a fake.
It's not a fake. It's not gibberish. It means something, okay? So when you hear a language that is totally different from yours, it can sound like gibberish to you, but it's not, okay?
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Snatch. Snatch means to grab. Now that I remember, there is a movie called Snatch, because throughout the movie everybody wanted to snatch the diamond. Snatch means to grab, to steal, but there is a physical action with your hand. Remember here, Mono was trying to steer clear of the teacher, and by the time he was near the shoe rack, the teacher spotted him and wanted to grab him, to snatch him, okay? Snatch with your hands. You can also say snatch, they snatched the girl, they kidnapped the girl. Snatch is like stealing, kidnapping, but also grabbing, taking something with your hands, okay? Snatch, he's snatching the phone.
Look, Lisa, I snatched 5 bathing suits. All Martins.
In many movies you're going to hear snatch and grab. It's ironic because snatch and grab are the same thing, but that's how you call the crime, snatch and grab.
Okay, simple snatch and grab. What am I snatching and or grabbing?
A briefcase. Intel says there's a train sticker on the handle.
Shot number 3. Snatch and grab my ass.
Okay, and sneak, creep mean the same. In this part, Mono was sneaking past the classroom. Or you can also say sneak into the window, for example, okay? Sneak is when you move silently and nobody notices you, okay? Like a ninja. And actually, we have sneakers, that's why they're called sneakers, because they don't make sound. Unless you play basketball, they don't make any sound, okay? Sneak or creep behind somebody. And you say that he's sneaking stealthily. Stealth, stealthy, the adjective stealthily. So Homer is moving backwards stealthily. Homer is being stealthy. He is practicing stealth, okay? And Little Nightmares 2 and many other games like Assassin's Creed, these are stealth games, so you're not supposed to be running around and killing everybody. Stealth game means that you have to be silent, you have to watch your step, okay? And actually remember we saw peek, you can also say a sneak peek, that means a little peek at something, okay? Like, I don't want to see that movie, yeah, let's give it a sneak peek, okay? Just a little bit, a sneak peek. Okay, this cat is sneaky, he looks like a towel. Here, this is me having a nice day, and this is my dog on its way to make it even better. Yeah, that's true for me. I have 2 dogs, and they are on their way to make it better. After they pee where they are not supposed to be peeing and pooping, after that, yes, they make my day better. They make it worse and then they make it better. And these are all the stealth games. Beginning of stealth missions, so you're being stealthy, you're sneaking around. And this is the ending of stealth missions. You did something that drew attention of all your enemies and now you're running away. Classic, classic. Spot somebody. So this girl is spotting him. She spotted him. That means she noticed him. So when you make noise, this is a stealth game. So every time you make noise, the enemy spots you. Spots you, okay? The teacher spotted the boy, Mono, and tried to snatch him. Here, well, that was on purpose. You made some sound and the bully spotted you, okay? Noticed you. This, is it a cheetah? This cheetah has been spotted. It works both ways because he has spots. We call these spots. And he is spotted, but also somebody saw him, so he has been spotted. The past of spot, notice, okay?
Spot the hidden objects.
So we can say find the hidden objects or spot the hidden objects. So find them, see them, notice them.
Enemy spotted.
Classic. Counter-Strike, enemy spotted. Okay, let's go. Now all this bunch of words, they basically mean the same thing. Avoid, dodge, keep away from, stay away from somebody, steer clear of. Just pay attention that keep away from somebody or something. Steer clear of. Okay, you can also say evade, elude, or when you dodge, when somebody throws something at you, you dodge it or you duck. When you do like this with your head, you duck. Okay, so to avoid, in this part, you could say avoid, he avoided the bully, but it's better to say dodged because it's physical. The difference is that dodge is for something physical, okay? There is a game of dodgeball, okay? Where you throw the ball at your opponent and he has to dodge the ball. If he doesn't, he's out of the game. Dodgeball. And there's a movie, Dodgeball, okay? With Ben Stiller. And here you can say that he's keeping away from the bullies or steering clear. Here, try to use in the story, try to use that Mono steered clear of the teacher's gaze. Gaze is like when somebody's looking at you. Like Medusa had the petrifying gaze. Mono steered clear of the teacher's gaze. He was avoiding her, okay? This is a good example of avoiding this. This man is avoiding, this worker is avoiding the client. In Matrix, they could dodge the bullets. The agents could dodge the bullets, and Neo too. Stay away from this guy. Look at how many motorcycles, and look at everything he killed. Yeah, that's a lot. Stay away from him. Do I have to define social distancing for you? Keep away from me. 1 meter distance. And from the office, steer clear, Big Tuna. Big Tuna, that's the nickname for this guy. So steer clear of her. Don't get close to her. She's mine. Steer clear of her. Keep away from her. Okay, tip over or topple. Remember when Mono tried to climb the bookcase to get the key and his weight tipped over the bookcase, okay? Here in this picture you can see the bookcases in the library, they're tipped over. That's why they ask you not to reshelve the books. Yeah, that's what happens when you put one book in the wrong place, that's what happens. Every time. You tip over a domino piece, the rest of them will tip over. Yeah, we call it a domino effect. When the domino pieces, they tip over. Tip over garbage can, not even hungry. That's an evil raccoon. He wasn't even hungry and he tipped over the garbage can just for sport.
Please tip over this table for me. Yes, sir.
Tip over this table for me.
Keep left and make it wide.
Oh God, we're gonna tip over. We're gonna tip over.
You're right, we're gonna tip over.
We're gonna tip over because they have to drive fast and they're going to tip over. Damn, this video is going to kill me. They didn't tip over. Okay, so trigger. Trigger means, it can mean two things. If it's a trigger, that means like the part of the gun that activates, that fires the bullet. Okay, and the action trigger, that means to activate, to provoke, to cause something, another action, right? So when you press this trigger, it activates the trap, it triggers the trap. Okay, so here Mono lured the bully stepped on the booby trap, and the booby trap, this wooden plank, triggered the bucket full of concrete debris to fall and smash the bully into pieces, okay? And similarly, here Mono stepped on the protruding wooden plank, and the booby trap triggered the locker to fall in front of him. He was fast enough to dodge it, okay? Also, trigger is, we say in English, pull the trigger. Fire the gun, fire the weapon, pull the trigger.
Pull the trigger!
Pull the trigger, kill him.
Pull the trigger.
Pull the trigger, shoot me.
Take double trigger.
Double trigger.
Where's the trigger? Where is it? Tell me where the trigger is.
Oh, you can say she plunged the knife into his body. There's the trigger, yes. And it's not a trigger of a gun, that's a trigger for a bomb. Remember Red Dead Redemption 2? He tried to trigger the bomb, but it didn't work, okay? She has the trigger for the bomb that would annihilate all the Gotham City, okay? Trigger. But remember that also you can use trigger figuratively, like a metaphor, right? It can mean a word or a phrase or an action that gets you going, that gets you angry, or that gets you emotional, okay? Some kind of trigger word.
Guests have to ride Topsy the Roid Rage horse. Now, whatever you do, don't say his trigger word. What? Ah, that's his trigger word! Don't yell!
That's a very bad trigger word, okay, because we use it a lot. So the horse's trigger word was what? Yeah, that's the trigger word. The horse was programmed to respond aggressively to the word what? Yes. Trigger words. If you are fans of Marvel comics and Marvel movies, remember Bucky? He had like a bunch of trigger words to activate the Winter Soldier in him.
Грузовой вагон. Доброе утро, солдат. Я готов отвечать.
Грузовой вагон. Я готов отвечать. Okay, and the last one is pretty simple. Uncover is the opposite of cover, but sometimes we use it as a metaphor. Uncover the truth. Here, the guy is uncovering the graffiti behind the wall. Mono, remember when he went to the dorm room and threw the tin, he picked up the tin or tin can and threw it at the painting, it fell down and it uncovered the hole leading to the torture room. Uncover, that's a good word to use, okay? When you try to get to the truth, at the end you uncover the truth. We're not finished until we uncover the identity of Daddy's good boy. That's because in English you say, who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? To the dogs. Okay, now the best part, the games. I'm going to shower you with games. The first two are pretty simple, so we learned a bunch of words, we need to practice their meaning. Just match the pictures to the correct word. For example, kidnapping, right? Make sure it's the one that gets gray, turns gray, and it disappears and you have more space to work with. More difficult words here, most of the ones that we practiced: ambush, lurk, creep or sneak, okay? Lure somebody into something, they're here, gibberish, etc., okay? So this is pretty straightforward, very simple, okay? In this game, this one is good to practice the pronunciation, because you're not going to learn English just by listening and looking at things, no. You need to take part, okay? You need to pronounce, you need to speak up, you need to say sentences, okay? Here, click on the microphone, make sure that the microphone here has access to record what you are saying, and, well, pronounce the words that have the microphone, and for those that don't, just write the words here, okay? Let's test it. Debris. If you notice when I pressed it, it was blinking, that means it's ready to receive the input from you. It's ready to listen to you, okay? Uncover. Here I can write steer, clear, off, or you can write keep away from. I thought of different possibilities, okay? Trigger. Plunge. If you don't pronounce correctly, the computer is going to look for the closest word, and sometimes it looks ridiculous. But that's why this exercise is important. You have to practice very clear pronunciation. If I don't pronounce plunge correctly, it will write lunch or something similar, okay? Here you can write taut or taut rope or tight or tense, okay? This is tire swing. Stealthily. I accept stealthy, but try to pronounce stealthily. Mono sneaked past the classroom stealthily. Sneak, creep, pliers, okay? So you get the idea. Bait. Cloakroom. Okay, you get the idea. This one is, if you get lost, flipped over. The drawer was flipped over, it was on its side. And you know the rest. Click on finish and you get your grade. Okay, this game has a little bit of everything. If you're slacking, if you are feeling lazy and only want to play one game, make it this one because it has everything, all the important words, and you can spell them here or focus on the story. Let's see some of the examples. And it has power-ups and memes, so it's very entertaining. Match the images to the names of places. Okay, remember in, what was the name? Hawkeye, the girl was lurking in the hallways, corridor. This is a passage, a very narrow passage. This is an alley, that's how the game started for us. Ventilation shaft, vent shaft. And cloakroom, where you leave your coat. Submit. Boo, yeah, everything is correct. And you get extra points for being fast, because there is a time limit. Okay, this one is completely different. Make sure that your microphone and sound are enabled so we can hear the pronunciation.
Berserk. Berserk.
Berserk. Okay. Berserk. But we pronounce berserk. You can also pronounce berserk. Yeah, it's correct. So you practice everything here. This is like a super game. Match the images to the actions. So bait or lure, charge at the hyena. Okay, and I also include animations or videos from the gameplay. Order the events as they appear chronologically in the gameplay. So from this part, put things in order, put all these events in order. How did it start? Well, Mono ran towards the mullet, that was the first thing he did. Okay, and then that they could ambush the girl and kidnap her. Yeah, baby. Well, you get the idea. And the last game is probably the most entertaining. I selected like 20 different songs that contain one of the words that we practiced in this video. Okay, first you would have to organize everything. It's a little bit of a mess because it's 20 of them. So you're going to listen and watch videos one by one. So put them all, everything that says video or audio, put them all in one corner. You don't need them to be all messy. Put them all in one corner, audios too, okay? And all the images, spread them so it's comfortable to work with, okay? This is a video. If accidentally you match something, here you can click in between the pictures to split them up. Okay, and use this corner to collect the answers. Remember this song, Setup? We analyzed the lyrics. Yeah, it's a setup. I cannot play the video or the audios here in my video because it would violate the copyrights. But in this activity, all the links to YouTube pages are the original. So this is the original YouTube site of this singer. So no copyright infringement. And you decide how hard you want this activity to be. If it's too difficult, you can sneak peek. Remember sneak peek here. So this is stealthily, this is the ledge if you forget, this is sneak, okay? And the same for the songs, if some of them contain lyrics already, lyrics is the words of the song. And if you still don't understand them, then check it here, okay? I put the specific part of the lyrics here, okay? So you decide how hard you want it to be. You can also use the strategy of starting with the easy ones and leave the difficult ones for later until you have less options, okay? And remember that this is important because you can have good listening skills and you can understand when people speak, but songs are a different kind of listening, okay? Sometimes I don't even understand songs, what they're singing about in my own language, okay? Because it takes a different skill to understand the meaning of the words and to recognize the words in the songs. They break many grammar rules and pronunciation rules so that the song can sound nice, right? So we need to develop this skill as well. Let's work on everything, okay? So if you hear this one, it's a setup. Look for the image that represents setting something up. Here she's setting up the trap. Yes, that's a setup. Okay, and you collect them in this corner and it will be more and more comfortable to work with because you'll have more and more free space. Okay, there's Dua Lipa. What is she singing about? if you don't want spoilers, don't look, but she'll say, I'll sink my teeth. Where sinking my teeth is this one, okay? So you put on top, and here we go. And when you finish all of them, press the tick button. This is a tick, and if it's green, it's correct. If not, you can split them and look for a better match, okay? Well, that was a long class. I prepared many games for you. I hope you liked it, okay? We learned very important words. You're going to, once you learn them through this video, then every time you hear that word, you're going to say, ah, now I know it. Because before, you'd say, I've never heard triggered in my life. I've never heard ledge in my life. Well, you feel like you haven't, because every time you heard it, it's like a totally new word and you didn't really pay attention to it, right? That happens. Like when you buy a car, you think, oh, nobody else has this car, and then suddenly you start noticing that everybody has this car, okay? Because your mind spots it, right? You notice this car. And it's the same with the vocabulary, okay? So this is good for us. This is good for upper intermediate level, advanced levels, okay? And we're practicing basically everything except for speaking, but I would advise you to not be silent, even if you are at home alone. Pronounce everything, okay? Don't be silent, because when you are doing things in your mind, it doesn't work to train your mouth to, for example, I can pronounce everything perfectly, but when in my mind, right? Ledge, sneak, but when I speak up and say ledge, no, it's not ledge, it's ledge, okay? So all these details, you can only work on them when you pronounce out loud, not when you do it in your mind. So if you're at home, make it so that your neighbor can hear you, okay? Pronounce out loud. Enjoy the games, and I'll see you in the next video where we're going to start telling the story. And as always, I'll prepare some cool games so you can practice it, okay? Thank you for connecting. Have a great day. Bye, everybody.